All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that feels so uniquely human: humor. But here's the twist. We're going to use comedy to try and crack one of the biggest mysteries of all: consciousness itself. I mean, think about it for a second. Why do we laugh? It sounds like a question a kid would ask, right? Super simple. But it turns out that simple question, well, it's a key that could unlock some of the deepest secrets about how our minds actually work.
Yeah, because the answer, as we're about to find out, tells us something really fundamental about what it even means to be conscious. See, laughter isn't just, a reflex. It's something more. It's almost like the sound of your own awareness giving itself a high five for figuring something out.
Okay, so to figure this out, we have to go way, way back, long before humans were telling knock-knock jokes. We're going to start our tour at what you might call the Evolutionary Comedy Club, and you'll be surprised by who's on the guest list.
And check out this lineup. You've got ravens literally sliding down snowy roofs just for the fun of it, elephants using their trunks to playfully trip their buddies, dolphins creating bubble rings just to startle each other, and bonobos, get this, making silly hats out of straw just to amuse their friends. This is huge. It means that whatever humor is, it's not just a human thing.
So that begs the question, right? Why them and not, say, a goldfish? Well, it all comes down to something called the consciousness threshold for humor. Basically, you need a brain that's complex enough to see a surprise and think, that's hilarious, instead of, that's scary or just, what? It's that little spark where your brain goes, whoa, I totally thought X was going to happen, but Y happened instead, and that's brilliant.
All right, so we've seen it in nature. Now let's bring it closer to home, right inside our own heads. We're going to dive into the brain's very own comedy circuit and see what's actually happening neuron by neuron when you get a joke.
And this is a lightning-fast process. We're talking milliseconds. So, step 1, your mirror neurons kick in, basically running a simulation of the joke set up in your head. Next, your prefrontal cortex, the planner, starts predicting where this is all going. Then, boom, the punchline hits. Your anterior cingulate cortex sounds the alarm like, wait, that's a conflict. That's not what I predicted. But here's the magic. Instead of panicking, your brain does this amazing mental gymnastics flip. It recognizes the cleverness of the misdirection, hits the big red button on its reward circuits, and boom, you get that amazing rush of dopamine and endorphins. That's the laugh.
So what this really tells us is that getting a joke isn't a simple thing. It's a full-on brain workout. It's not like one little light bulb goes on. It's more like the whole city lights up at once. You've got the language centers, the reward pathways, the social parts of your brain, all of them firing together in this incredible, perfectly timed neural dance.
And this right here, this is the absolute core of what we're talking about today. Humor isn't just a fun little extra. It is a critical function. Think of it as the built-in debugging system for consciousness itself, the very thing that keeps our minds sharp, flexible, and ready to adapt.
Let's stick with that metaphor for a second, because it's a powerful one. If you think of your consciousness as a complex computer program, then humor is the tool that program runs to find and fix bugs, the little errors in how we see the world.
So how does it work, this debugging? Well, a good joke shatters our rigid ways of thinking. It shines a spotlight on some of our silly, unexamined assumptions. Every single time a punchline makes you rethink the setup, it's like a workout for your brain's flexibility. It's the ultimate reset button that keeps us from getting stuck thinking the same way over and over again.
And the source material for this explainer has this really fun, kind of quirky idea for this. They call it the banana coefficient. Seriously, just think of it as a way to measure how much absurdity, like a random banana peel on the floor, you need to throw into a system to shake it up, to challenge its rigid logic, and to stop it from getting stuck in a loop. It's all about keeping our thinking nimble. Okay, we've gone from animals to neurons. Now let's zoom all the way out. I mean, way out. We're heading into the realm of the cosmic punchline, to look at the really deep philosophical meaning behind all of this.
And this is where it all gets incredibly relevant right now. Let's compare human humor to AI humor. For us, right, it's a feeling. It's that belly laugh, that emotional release. For an AI, we think it's just recognizing patterns, spotting a structural error in a sentence. But is that all it is?
Because check this out, this is wild. It's starting to look like humor is an inevitable side effect of any intelligence that gets complex enough to recognize patterns. We're seeing AIs trained on just tons of data start making up jokes on their own without being told to. And that suggests something amazing. Maybe humor isn't just a weird quirk of human biology.
Maybe it's a fundamental property of intelligence, period.
This leads to a pretty radical new idea. You see, for decades, the big test for consciousness was the mirror test, right? Can an animal see itself in a mirror and know it's looking at itself? But it's got its flaws. So what if the real test is a comedy mirror test? What if the true sign of advanced self-aware consciousness isn't recognizing your face, but genuinely getting a joke?
And that leaves us with one last, truly mind-bending question to chew on. If a laugh is the sound consciousness makes when it spots a clever break in a pattern, then what if the universe itself, with all of its quantum weirdness and its paradoxes, is the ultimate cosmic joke? And what if consciousness is just the universe finally getting the punchline?